Hi everyone, it's Mr. Beer here. I hope that you're all safe and well. As you may already be aware, Mr. Riley has put some presentations together and uploaded them onto our YouTube channel. These were designed to get you started in working at home. We'll come back to these later in the presentation. Our main focus for this presentation, though, is to look at how we can manage your time effectively and get the most out of your learning. Firstly, we should appreciate that this is a challenging time for everyone. None of us have ever experienced this before, and it's crucial that we all work together and take the positives out of every day. As students, this challenge provides you with an opportunity to continue to develop your independent learning, something that we talk about quite a bit at school. This is a skill that will serve you well throughout your life, and we know that many of you are already working really well on your own. If you're not quite there yet, don't give up. Keep going, keep working hard, and you'll see the benefits. We fully appreciate that most of your parents and carers are not trained teachers, and if they are, they're unlikely to be a specialist in every single subject. As a result, they will not have all the answers. Try to recognise that they want the very best for you, so listen to their advice. And remember that along with your parents and carers, we, as your teachers, are here to support you, so please don't be afraid of getting in contact and asking your teacher for help if you get stuck. Following the recent survey that many of you took, along with parents and carers and staff, we agreed that the best course of action would be to make a reduction in the amount of work that your teachers set you. As a result, we've asked teachers to set 30 minutes for Key Stage 3 and 45 minutes for Key Stage 4. This includes Year 11, and whilst you might not have to sit your exams, you need to continue to prepare for the next stage of your education as you go on to college. Leaving such a large gap in your education will not make things easy for you, so please do keep working hard. Some of you have asked for more work rather than less in the survey. As a result, your teachers will be looking to add extension tasks to the lessons. They might add that into the description or into a presentation that they prepare for you. And as well as that, we're looking at non-compulsory, flexible tasks on Show My Homework to add to your curriculum opportunities. You'll see an example of it later, but that's shown up on your calendar as being pink rather than the green homework that we'd set you, which of course is the compulsory work. Our advice is to try to stick to a routine as best as you possibly can. So get up at the normal time for school. It might be a bit of a surprise for some of you, but get out of bed, get your equipment ready, and make sure that you're ready for the school day. Today's Wednesday, the 29th of April, and it's a week B. We've said that you should be following your timetable, so have that out on your desk along with a pencil case and all of your equipment. It's also essential that you stay hydrated, so have a drink with you at your desk. As well as that, we recommend that you get up and move around between lessons, much the same as you would at school. Having that time to move between lesson to lesson just gives us a chance to wake our body and our brain up again. As well as that, you need to give some thought to what you're eating. Remember that food is the fuel for our body. We talk about this in PE, and I know that Mrs. Hale talks about it in your food lessons. So if you go and put a load of sugary food into your body, then what you'll do is you might feel wide awake for a few minutes, and then you'll get a bit of a sugar dip, and you might feel really lethargic and tired. So it's not great food. So think carefully about the kind of snacks you have and what you eat for lunch. Here's an example of a timetable. On a normal school day, you'd obviously come in and start the day with your mentor. You also spend some time preparing for the day ahead. We suggest that in this time, you do the same thing at home. So imagine that you've got that 15 minutes to get yourself ready for the day ahead. Now, your mentor might contact you by phone during the day at some point, and perhaps they might set you some tasks, some of those flexible tasks through Show My Homework for you to complete during this part of your day. Then you should move on to lesson 1. So if you have a look at Monday here, that would be English for me. Then you follow your timetable through the day. Now we all have a favourite lesson, but my recommendation is to avoid trying to skip straight to that one that you like the best. Take it one lesson at a time and include those breaks and lunch times as part of your day. As mentioned on the previous slide, taking breaks is important, so make sure you get up between lessons and move around and keep your body and your brain going, much the same as you would in moving around between lessons at school, as I said previously. Exercise and being hydrated increases concentration and retention. So we'd recommend that you don't just sit at your screen for more than 45 minutes. You're far less likely to be able to remember the stuff you're trying to learn if you just sit there for the whole day. So get up, move around. With the reduction of the lesson time, following the survey, you need to be aware that some tasks are likely to span over more than one lesson. Previously, we might have set a task and asked for you to hand it in on the same day. Seeing as we've gone from an hour down to half an hour for Key Stage 3, for example, that is obviously going to have a knock-on effect on how much time we need to prepare you for you to be able to complete a task. So I've got an example here. So this is my 8J PE class, and this was part of my planning. So you can see, obviously, I've set the task here on Friday the 24th of April, and it's going to last 2 lessons. I've put that in the description on Show My Homework so that everyone in my class understands how long they've got to do it. They have 30 minutes of work on this lesson, and then I'd expect them to stop that, and like I said in the previous slide, move on to their next lesson. Obviously, they're going to need to come back to it, because on Friday the 1st of May, they've got another lesson to be able to continue that learning. This lesson here is a separate one. So on that one, I'm going to set a task that is obviously a lot shorter, and they can do that on the day and hand it back. That, again, would be written up in the description, and would give them information to tell them that. You see it slightly differently to this. This is obviously just my planning, and it's just an illustration to try and help you understand how staff are going to be looking at it. But you'd see it in your planner, in your diary, or in your calendar, it's called, on Show My Homework like this. And as I mentioned before, we've got that pink example there, which is a flexible task. That's obviously the non-compulsory one, so things that are in addition to the compulsory green tasks that your teachers are setting you. You'll need to make sure you use this calendar well and you become used to it. If you just look at what's called your grade book, then you will only get the information that says when the work has been submitted or the deadline to the task, and that can become confusing. So make sure you click on this screen in particular, okay, the calendar, and it will show you that timeline, much the same as mine does here for my planning. It will show you how many days. So we know that this one might have been set before, for example, but it's going to come right the way through to Friday the 1st of May. As it stops there, I know that's when the deadline is. Now, as I've mentioned previously, Mr. Riley's been hard at work setting up our new YouTube channel that we can see here, and has uploaded lots of videos to start helping you with your learning at home. As well as that, staff are going to be putting some lessons on there. You might have already seen the PE first PE lesson even, that we've uploaded onto there. Now, as well as that, there's some information around getting you started, and if you're having a problem with your IT, there's some useful videos on here that you can try first, and we'd ask you to do that first before you contact us at school, because it might be something that you can just solve yourself, and that goes back to that independent learning I was talking about. It's a great opportunity to continue to learn, and one that we should all grasp with both hands. As you probably know, I don't consider myself to be too technology savvy, but in the last 2 weeks I've learnt to upload films to YouTube, and I've also started adding voice recordings to presentations, just like this one. Once you've tried to solve the problem yourself, if you're still having trouble, please contact us through this email account. It's been specifically set up to support your IT needs, and we'll aim to get back to you as soon as possible. Please bear in mind that it can be busy at times. Now, as I mentioned before, here are some of the videos that Mr. Riley has uploaded onto our YouTube channel. I'd recommend that you subscribe to that if you haven't already done so, and then you can have access to all of the new things that crop up as we send them on there. So here are the examples. We've obviously got the first one there about emailing, accessing your email from home. Some people have struggled with that, so you put that one together. Followed by something else that some students told us that they were struggling with in terms of attaching a file to an email. Remember, please, that as a preference, what we would like you to do is to attach your work directly in Show My Homework, because that makes things so much easier for staff and speeds things up significantly. As soon as you've uploaded it into Show My Homework, it will be marked as submitted. Whereas if you do it by email, then obviously the time frame of the staff being able to catch up with the number of emails that they've got to do and see your work and then load up Show My Homework and then mark it is going to be considerably more. So where possible, please try and get familiar and used to uploading directly onto Show My Homework for quicker feedback. Finally, this one here is really important. I know that lots of parents have been talking about buying computers and trying to get hold of them. Obviously, there's a bit of a shortage at the moment because everybody's trying to do it. But also we've had calls from parents around how much it is and whether there is any option for a free Microsoft Office system. And I can confirm, and Mr. Riley's confirmed with this video that he's uploaded here, that that is the case. So if you're buying a new computer, your parents and carers don't necessarily have to buy Microsoft Office, which will save them over £100. So it's well worth the 4 minutes 51 seconds of viewing that to show you how you can access that for free. Finally, let's just finish by recognising that these, as I mentioned before, are unprecedented times and therefore more important than ever for us all to continue to work as a team. You can help your parents and carers by being proactive. Get yourself organised before you start each day. We talk about that at school, packing your bag the night before. You don't have to pack your bag now, but getting yourself ready is absolutely crucial. Your parents and carers do not want to spend their day moaning at you, so try and support them in demonstrating a positive attitude to your work. Follow your timetable. Become familiar with the Show My Homework calendar that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. And if you get stuck, please don't be afraid to contact and ask your members of staff or your mentors a question. We're here to help you. And like your parents and carers, we want the very best for you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it useful. Finally, stay positive, try your hardest with your work, be kind and have courage. I look forward to seeing you all as soon as possible.